Hello, amazing beings. And June is a very exciting month. It starts with June the 6th, the Saturday, when a portal in Portugal is opening, and it's going directly from Fatima, which is Raphael, Archangel Raphael's retreat, to Andromeda, the planet of higher love. Now, 6th month, of course, is June, and so it's the 6-6. And 6-6 is remember that you are much vaster than the little self you think you are. On 6-6 frequency, the portal of higher love is being opened between Fatima and Andromeda to activate the 5th dimensional health blueprint of humans who are ready. Now, if yours is already activated, light codes are going to be downloaded through your third eye chakra to help build the 7th dimensional health blueprint for the world. And that's massive service work. Now, 6666 has a much higher vibration, and it tells you that you are a being of the universe, one who works at a spiritual level for the highest good of the universe. Are you a being of the universe? So this portal is unlocking energy at 2 levels. On that day, June the 6th, on a 6666, you start to download crystalline light codes into the Great Pyramid of Hollow Earth, and that's in the center of Hollow Earth, and those crystalline codes are helping to build the higher hearts of humanity for the golden future. And on June the 6th, they will come through at a much higher frequency, and from that day on. And that's why they're being stored in Hollow Earth, ready to be accessed by those who are ready with the help of Archangel Raphael. Now, I've recorded a visualization to enable you to access and expand your heart center and upgrade your health with these codes. It's quite a synchronicity because I'm currently facilitating the Activate Your Crystalline Heart course in 4 parts, overseen by Merlin. And he says that when this module to activate the crystalline heart is complete, it'll have raised the heart frequency of the planet. Awesome! He confirms that every single participant who is diligently working on the course will activate their crystalline heart, for he's working individually with every single one to ensure that they do so. The first 3 parts are recorded already, but if you feel you're ready, there's still time to join the last part of the module live. Then there's the Summer Solstice on June the 20th, the longest day, the day when the sun is at the peak of its power, and the sun is the masculine power. It holds clear thinking, leadership, decision-making, as well as courage, strength, and determination. So light codes from the sun also make you feel happier and boost your immune system and your health. And during June, there will be more solar flares and at an increased intensity. Now, their purpose is to enable humanity to ascend more easily, for they're activating our DNA and increasing spiritual awareness. During the summer solstice, give thanks to the sun and appreciate everything you have. Celebrate your spiritual achievements and enjoy yourself. On Tuesday the 30th, the full moon is the strawberry moon. It's in Sagittarius. And last year at the strawberry moon, Kumikar said it was activating an energy of sweetness. This year, it's opening doors to opportunity. This year, guardian angels throughout the world have permission to open new doors, to push them open a chink for everyone. This is unprecedented. So look for something new at the full moon and ask your guardian angel to let the light shine through your door and you have permission to push the door open and see something new that lies ahead. Allow yourself to feel a sense of anticipation and excitement. Remember, it's the fire sign in Sagittarius. Now, there are some wonderful things that you can experience on Earth that are not available anywhere else. So appreciate them while you can. I was looking at the blue sky with fluffy white clouds and also wispy ones and different cloud formations on the horizon. And my guide said, you cannot see clouds like this anywhere else in the universe. I started to see them with different eyes. In the evening, they were pink-tinted clouds as they caught the sunset. Again, this is the only place in the universe where there are sunsets like we have. Sunsets on Earth are simply glorious. Nature on Earth is also unique. You walk quietly through a woodland, and it's something you can never experience anywhere else. You smell the perfume of a flower and it's unique. Walk through a meadow and watch the butterflies, the colourful flowers, the birds floating and dipping and flapping, and take it in while you can. The green of the grass and the leaves, it's special to our planet. And take in all these wondrous gifts now, for the energy will not only raise your light, but it will stay in your soul through eternity. So, moving from stuckness to your right path and freedom from pain. I had this fascinating conversation with my daughter Dawn, who's a nutritional therapist and a spiritual teacher, and I knew she'd had a tough time. And she gave me permission to share her story of moving from total stuckness onto her right pathway. And so many people seem to be in this space as everything in the universe is shifting at the moment. And I've seen the shift in her as she went through this process. Even more fascinating to me was that what she learned when she took responsibility for her body and completely cleared incredible pain that she'd suffered for years. And this is her story. A tarot reader had said, the universe keeps throwing blocks in your way and you keep knocking them down. It's like the universe is saying, what do we have to do to get this woman to stop? And the words resonated deeply with her. Amazon had blocked her book ads, which was her main route to new clients. The course software she was using developed a critical bug that only affected a handful of accounts, one of which was hers, and she said was beginning to feel personal. She felt as if she was wading through treacle, particularly thick, resistant treacle. And at home it wasn't any simpler. Her partner's work was drying up. Then her daughter's favourite teacher, the one she relied on and trusted, who she spent her breaks with, was arrested for attempted murder. She was waking in the early hours with a heaviness in the pit of her stomach, and she had to find a way to stay centred in the chaos. As for work, trying to figure it out wasn't working. She had a sense that her old work was over, but hitting all these roadblocks with no glimmer of another path made her very cells feel like screaming. She realized that the tarot reader was right. The universe was trying to tell her something, even if it wasn't what she wanted to hear. It hit her viscerally that she needed to stop and sit in the uncertainty. It's very difficult for someone with an Aries moon, and it was excruciating. She knew she had to listen to her body and follow her inner wisdom, even when she didn't know where it was heading. But in that space, something began to change. A new path started unfolding, almost without her realizing. She didn't have a master plan. She just followed what felt right. She found that in those early hours, she could go deep into herself and shift her energy field into a calmer, more expanded state. At first it took a while, which was fine. She was waking very early, even though initially she still woke with that dragging sensation. She came to enjoy and deeply value those hours. If she did feel sleep longer, she felt she'd missed out and she wasn't starting her day right. And as she stepped back and observed what was happening within without getting caught up in it, that stress-triggered mental looping started to dissolve. She became very aware of how it was impacting her body, energy, and vibration. And importantly, she no longer felt at the mercy of what was happening around her. Sometimes it felt as if she was in the eye of a storm, a calm center while chaos reigned around her. The stress that once overwhelmed her became a doorway into understanding what was really happening within and who she was becoming. And as she became more centered and resilient, more synchronicities seemed to appear. The information she needed would appear out of the blue as she turned the radio on or a random page in a book, and often at mundane moments when she wasn't actively seeking it. One afternoon, while thinking about what to cook for dinner, she heard a voice as clearly as if someone was speaking in the room, even though she was alone. The voice said, "You are a dream walker." She asked where it was coming from, and it said, "Moonflower." She'd never heard of a dream walker or a moonflower, so the first thing she did was to Google them. And she discovered that dream walker is a shamanic term for someone who travels between realms to bring back knowledge, provide healing, or guide souls. And what's unique about a moonflower is that it blooms at night and is associated with lunar energy, intuition, and the liminal, the threshold between states. And she's still exploring exactly what that means for her. Even though initially nothing in her external world changed, internally she'd found a new way of being. It was as if she'd built her trust in the universe again at a cellular level. Her reality was shifting from inside out. But looking back, she can also see something important. She doesn't think she could have navigated that period in the same way if her body had still been in the state it used to be. And that's another thing I found fascinating as I talked to her. Years earlier, she'd been in severe pain. Painkillers barely touched it, and the doctors were suggesting exploratory surgery. She really didn't want to go down that route, and saw a nutritional therapist who explained why her body was creating inflammation and how she could shift it to an anti-inflammatory state. And one of the things that made the most difference was discovering that certain fats could either fuel or reverse inflammation, and how to direct that process. Following her advice, she was pain-free within 3 months. Ultimately, this led to her doing a degree in nutritional therapy. When your body's in pain or running on inflammation, it's almost impossible to access the states from which to create the life you want. And the same is true when you're caught in stress loops. This journey's been so important for her that she's offering a mini course to help others, and it's currently free. It's called Awaken Your Inner Alchemist and includes learning to calm your nervous system, stepping out of stress and mental looping, and the biochemistry that lets your body hold a different state. Because she found that when those shifted, so did her relationship with reality itself. It's what she'd wished she'd had when her external world was collapsing. She's also included why a supplement widely recommended for women's hormonal health may actually be driving inflammation in your body. Her mini course, Awaken Your Inner Alchemist, is free right now, and I think it's really important to know that you can move on to your life path and get your body to support you in this. And you can access her free course from her website, Dawn Cookow, Awaken Your Inner Alchemist. Now, enjoy life. Have a wonderful June. Remember, life is exciting. New doors are opening. This is the most incredible time to be here. So make sure your body is right, your health is right, and you really happy and loving life.